Welcome to the Daily Exchange Consensus Edition. We're here with Pan Kamal from ThunderCore. We're talking everything about the token, the exchange, the blockchain, everything. See you guys right after this. Welcome back, guys. We're here with Pan Kamal. Welcome to the Daily Exchange.
Thank you for having me on.
It's good to have you. Now, tell us, obviously we're talking about ThunderCore. Tell us, what is ThunderCore?
So we are excited to be here at Consensus 2019. We've just launched our mainnet, and what we are is a public blockchain, much like Ethereum, except we're 100 times faster. We have 1 second confirmation times for block confirmation, and 1200 TPS throughput, and I know I just threw out a lot of numbers, but basically developers who've written applications for Ethereum, the dApps, etc., can take their dApps and move them onto our chain because it's completely EVM compatible, means they don't have to rewrite their code, and they can immediately enjoy much faster performance and throughput and those kind of things. So it opens up a lot of new business models, but also makes it a nicer experience for users.
Cool. Now, you guys were one of the I guess you guys launched on Huobi last week.
Yes.
With a partnership. Tell us about what happened then.
So we were pretty excited. Huobi's been a great partner for us. Initially the company did not do an ICO where money comes into the company, et cetera, but they raised financing for the company or funding through major blockchain investors, and Huobi Capital was one of them. So they've been a good partner for us for a long time. They've been very supportive. So when we were looking at, hey, what exchange should we take out the company on, they were the first ones that came to mind and were part of that whole process. So we were really happy to be selected by Huobi to be part of Huobi Prime Lite, which is an express IEO listing, and that took place last week, like you said.
Yeah. So this what happened there? So we had what percentage of tokens? Like what exactly happened with the IEO? Tell us about that.
Well, there was about 500,000 US dollars worth of tokens that were brought into that IEO and made available to Huobi's retail investors to come in and take part in that, and they sold out almost instantly. I don't recall the exact number of minutes or seconds, but it was a very short period of time, fully subscribed, and we were off to the races and listed on Huobi's exchange listing.
And in terms of, I guess, the token price, you said it went up a lot, and then how has it performed since the IEO? Because it's quite a new thing, right?
Yes, and generally in an IEO, typically the IEO provider will, the exchange will offer a discounted price on tokens to get more users into the fray and make it attractive and all those things. So there's always that, whether it's us or any other project that's listing on an IEO, there's always that concern about, hey, what's the starting price, where did it end up, and those kind of things. But I think we actually did, fairly well, and we were happy with the results as they came about.
Brilliant. Now, I guess we have to ask the question. There's been some recent discussion in the market about some of the ThunderCore team with, I guess, some people are saying, I guess, dumping their tokens during the IEO.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That is absolutely not true. Our whole effort has been really to build value into the company. There has been absolutely no dumping from anybody in the management team or the employee team in this space. So we're a little perplexed about where that came from, and that's the situation at this point.
So I guess the team, do they have sort of lockups and things like that? Obviously, how does that sort of work internally?
So there are lockups. I'll give you an example of myself because I know the details. So I joined the company some number of months ago, but many of us are based in Silicon Valley and follow very similar rules there, where for the first year of employment, you have a cliff vesting period. So I have no tokens at all until I'm with the company for a year, and after that, then over a period of time, that vests, so I don't get anything up front. And even after the first year cliff vesting, you have an extended period of time where these models, all of those things is a fabulous blockchain to build on. It's a fabulous blockchain to bring developers onto it, and with our recent mainnet launch, we're just getting started. So there's no desire for us to derail that process. Our goal is to build value into the company.
Great. Now, so the mainnet just launched of recent?
It was a public launch, so it was a two-step launch. So we had a pre-release of the mainnet, which has been working for right about a couple of months at this point, and what we wanted to do was prove out the performance. So we made sure that all of the functionality was working, all of the capabilities from a performance standpoint were there and available. And it was yesterday via press release that we announced the fact that the public launch has taken place, which means that we're making available open node full source of our software as well, and others can run those nodes.
Brilliant. Now, how does the blockchain consensus, does it have mining? Tell us about how that works.
So it's a proof of stake consensus mechanism, and there's committee members that are elected from an election process, and I don't have too much more detail myself beyond that. And those that are part of the committee can stake their tokens and be part of that process to be a committee member in the node. But we can certainly get more details into that as we need them, if needed. But as a proof of stake system, we're a whole lot more energy efficient and faster than a proof of work mining type environment.
Makes sense. Now, in terms of, I guess, with the proof of stake, is there any reason why you guys sort of chose proof of stake versus proof of work?
Just the efficiencies, we would not have been able to get the performance from proof of work that we do get with proof of stake. It's in fact the basis on which the company was founded. So Dr. Elaine Shih, who was one of our co-founders, associate professor at Cornell, wrote the first academic white paper on application of blockchain to cryptocurrency, and then also an expert in smart contracts. Actually designed our algorithms around proof of stake and the whole consensus model that we called a Thunderella family of protocols. That's the part that gives us this additional performance capabilities, gives us the faster confirmation times. And the additional part to this is that you have this mathematically proven security. So I'm sure you've heard in the past about, or even in the recent past, about this trilemma of saying, okay, you can increase your performance, but then you have to kind of give up on security, or you might lose decentralization. We bring all of that together in our offering. So we provide that additional performance, we provide the additional security, and remain decentralized, so there's transparency in operation.
Okay. In terms of, I guess, ThunderCore, what are you guys targeting? Who are you trying to attract to the network?
Sure. We are a public blockchain that's general purpose use, meaning that there's many different use cases that can take advantage of that enhanced performance. Our view right now is that what the industry really needs are users. There's a lot of app developers out there, there's a lot of business models, etc. What's sorely missing are real users in good quantities. So Chris Wong, our CEO, was the founder of Playdom, which was a major mobile gaming company. He sold that to Disney for $563 million. But more importantly, he had built a company that was able to acquire 20 million users a day in terms of a DAU count. And by contrast, if you take all of the gaming dApps that are built on blockchain today, are in the range of 12 to 15,000 DAUs, daily active users, versus mobile gaming today is 100 million daily users. So it's orders of magnitude different. Our view is, in order to bring users onto our blockchain, one of the most expedient paths to doing that is to actually acquire users and try and convert regular non-blockchain mobile users to blockchain users. In order to do that, we've created some special stuff around our blockchain which is something we call our mobile hub. It's a mobile gaming experience, and as you might know, gamers don't want to have to pay money before they try out something or try out a game. So we are able to then offer them, and it's hard in blockchain because who's going to pay the gas fee, etc. So we've created this mobile hub. We've set it up so that developers can bring their mobile apps onto that hub, and gamers can actually try it out without having to pay for it. And in fact, while they're trying out, they can earn Thunder token or RTT, which is our specific currency, while they're doing that. So they can have fun trying new stuff out, and they can earn money. And what we do in turn is the developers who've written really good games that attract a lot of users, we help them with user acquisition. So we'll pay for like Facebook ads or other kinds of user acquisition advertising to bring those users to our mobile hub. And at the same time, when they come to the mobile hub, they're actually becoming users of that particular developer.
Actual games to come on, which is incredible.
So just really quickly, we're not funding the game per se. We've kind of decided to not follow the model where you throw a bunch of money at developers and buy them to come onto your chain. What we're saying is, if you're a really good developer, build really nice games that people want to play, we'll help you find your users, and we'll help you keep your users and retain them and build a community.
And in terms of right now, what sort of apps have started using Thunder? Obviously, it's very new, but what are you sort of seeing happening?
So today we're at Consensus 2019. It was today's the third day of the event. Our CEO Chris Wong actually presented how to make blockchain the biggest platform for gaming, and it was really describing this. And we have a number of games that are already operating on our blockchain. There's a particular gaming company called Game Center Studio that has a number of dApps that have written into our mobile hub, and we've already exceeded the total number of everybody else's games combined together. If you look at the DAUs in just the last 6 to 8 weeks, we've exceeded a full year's worth of DAUs for all the other games combined.
What kind of games are they?
So they're simple games. They're games, they're challenge games. There are games that kind of look like Tetris, for example. There's some word games, and then there's also things like dice and slots and stuff like that. So there's depending on the jurisdiction or the geography that they're being targeted at, the functionality changes and it's appropriate. So if in the U.S., for example, if we're not targeting betting or gaming from that perspective in the U.S. markets, but outside the United States, yes.
How do the tokenomics of ThunderCore work? Like, is there some burning mechanisms, or are there how will the token price go up?
So we believe that it's a cyclical process, and we have started that cycle where we are attracting users to our blockchain. We're making it easy for developers to get to those users, and so the more users we have, it's going to bring more developers, and the more developers we get, they're going to bring more users, and so it's a designed fulfillment prophecy, if you will. We feel that over time, it's not just gaming, but the same concept could apply to DeFi, it could apply to supply chain and other verticals as well, and we're looking to partner with developers in all of those areas.
Okay. What's coming up for ThunderCore next? What's exciting?
We have a lot of stuff coming up. We have a staking pool service we just announced, cross-chain assets, certain capabilities that help with gaming, for example, random number generator, which might not sound very exciting, but in many cases, particularly in betting type games, etc., you need this random number functionality. It's an added inconvenience, if you will, for the game developer to have to build that into their game itself. But if it's sort of a standard functionality available from the platform, they can leverage that, keep things moving faster, keep the performance up there. So there's some pieces of functionality that are specific to the vertical use case, and then overall we continue to improve our consensus mechanism. So there's a whole new family of consensus protocols that we're going to continue to launch, and these are available on our website, actually in our roadmap. It's as I had mentioned earlier on in our conversation, it's really well documented what we're going to be doing out. So we've really taken a look at, we've divided our roadmap into sort of 3 layers. The first layer is research and protocol design. So we're investing heavily in the research and protocol side of things to make sure that we maintain this technological lead and advancement over others. The second part's the actual deployment, or the engineering part of deploying the blockchain and building out the blockchain. And then the third piece is user and developer enhancement. So we've taken a very conscious approach to wanting to put pieces in place that help the developers provide a better experience to users, makes it easier for developers to bring their code onto our blockchain, and overall make it a good experience for everybody involved.
Now, I guess, how can everyone sort of join and follow along with ThunderCore?
We have our WeChat channel, our Telegram channels, our website at www.thundercore.com, and we'd invite all of your listeners and viewers to come visit us, be part of our community, and we're expanding our overall community outreach with a community program. We have an ambassador program that is now spinning up, and we have a lot of interest from people all over the world to be part of that program, and we welcome folks to come in and be part of our community.
Pan, thank you so much for joining us on the Daily Exchange.
I appreciate you having me on.
Awesome. Guys,
Right,
that is Pan Kamal from ThunderCore, and the Getting the Game is coming on the blockchain. See you guys.
All right.
Oh, what was that?